Hey everyone, Wyatt Claypool here. If you've watched more than a couple of videos from me, you're already pretty well aware of the fact that I love to talk about polling. But if there is one thing I like to talk about even more than polling, it's people who don't understand polls and think Justin Trudeau is actually going to be able to win the 2025 federal election. Spoiler alert, he cannot. He has zero paths to victory right now, and I'm going to show you as well as make fun of some people who truly think that Pure Polyev is somehow going to fall on his face before the next general election. But before I get into all that, I'm just going to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel because in my analytics, I see about 75% of people are not currently subscribed to the channel. So if you've popped in more than once to watch my videos and you like them, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also like this video if you've already done that. Anyways, so there's been a lot of liberal people on social media who, whenever Nanos or EOS puts out a poll showing that the conservatives are only 13 points ahead of the liberals, they truly think that there's going to be an upward trend for Justin Trudeau, that he has momentum. He doesn't, guys. I'm not just saying this because I'm a conservative. Obviously, I want the conservatives to win, but I would be honest if I thought that the conservatives were starting to trail back because I would tell them what they should be doing to improve in the polls. The polls that are showing the conservatives only 13 points ahead are still showing the conservatives winning a big majority. They'd be winning a majority of 15 to 25 seats even with just a 13% lead. Most of the polls still show them leading by anywhere from 18% all the way up to 22%. There's even a Main Street poll that showed them at 24% ahead of the federal liberals. I'm just going to show you the current polling on the back end of 338 just to show you what the current numbers are looking like across several different polls. This is all of the polls over the last several weeks here. And you can see, yeah, there's a 12% from ECOS. Ooh, wow, maybe the liberals are catching some momentum. 13 from Nanos, 22 Angus Reid, 22 Abacus Data. Nanos is showing some weaker numbers, but Campaign Research 17, Abacus 21, Palace 22. And it's just Nanos and ECOS basically showing these lower 13s, 15s, and 12s. And even then, it's really just the methodology and sampling techniques of those pollsters. When you actually look at their polls, Justin Trudeau is not catching an ounce of momentum right now. I'll just show you the Nanos poll in depth behind the scenes here and showing how, when you actually look at their results, the Liberals are not doing well. We see here in 2022, late 2022, that the Liberals and the Conservatives are somewhat close right here. That's just when Pierre Poilievre is becoming the leader. And after that, the trend is still consistent with everyone else. They don't think maybe the Conservatives are at 44%. I disagree with them. I think that the Conservatives are handily going to win more than 40% of the vote, but they still show the same general trend line. They just have methodologies or samples that just put the Liberals a little bit more up in the polls. They might have a little bit more of an urban sample. And even in this ECOS poll, people are thinking, well, see, it shows that Pierre Poilievre is not a very popular guy because supposedly it's showing that he has a bad approval rating, even though his approval rating, even at ECOS, is still way ahead of Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh. But let's humor that for a second. This ECOS poll that was only showing the Conservatives 12 points ahead, which again is still a majority, has the most wacky regionals you've ever seen. This is an actual view of the regionals from the ECOS poll. This was an actual result. The Saskatchewan Manitoba regional showed that the Liberals were ahead by 9 points on the Conservatives. Just no. That's no. It's just not true. Saskatchewan is more conservative than Alberta. Is Manitoba more liberal than Alberta and Saskatchewan? More NDP? Yes. But it's not this. In fact, the NDP probably have a better chance at winning more seats than the Liberals in Manitoba. So why would they be in third place here? It doesn't make any sense. Really, this is a massive sampling error. There was only 40 people polled in the entire ECOS poll from Saskatchewan and Manitoba. That's not a good poll. I don't know how to say it to you. Say it any different way. And these are the other regionals. Even Ontario is like pretty decent. Some of the stuff looks good, but even Alberta, the Liberals aren't going to get 22% in Alberta. They're going to be at like 15, 13%. The NDP might be at 22, 23, since the NDP have more solid ridings in there. Heather McPherson might actually be able to hold on to her riding. I think Blake Desjardins is completely gone in his. No chance George Chahal as a Liberal is going to hold on to his seat. I don't think Randy Boissonneau is going to be able to hold on to his seat there. There's just no, and even then, 32% for the Liberals in Atlantic Canada. Again, just know when you actually see any of the other pollsters polling in these regions, they've all been consistently Conservatives ahead in BC, Conservatives ahead in Atlantic Canada. The Liberals wouldn't be having like Sean Casey from Charlottetown saying that Justin Trudeau needs to resign if he truly thought that the Liberals were at 32% or even close to that number in that region. Because Charlottetown is one of the last ridings you're going to lose in the Maritimes if the polling's bad. So Sean Casey would be, I guess, jumping the gun. Maybe he doesn't actually know how popular he is. He really went, obviously, though, he went after Trudeau because he isn't doing well. Anyways, but there was tons of people when I scrolled through the replies. I'm not going to do that here because obviously there's many people also calling out how silly the poll was, but a lot of people with the whole hashtag I stand with Trudeau in their bios, like pretending that this was going to be the big comeback moment for Justin Trudeau. And now I just want to highlight the TikToker Creek Pete here because I think using a lefty TikToker really highlights just how delusional and out of touch so many of these people are who end up believing just hype, just copium fueled hype around Justin Trudeau and thinking that any day now, Pierre Poilievre is going to somehow start falling back in the polls because supposedly people don't like the guy. Evidence? I guess Creek Pete doesn't like him. That's the evidence here. I just queued it up to a moment here where we start talking about the approval ratings.
But also that question right there, if your leader's so unpopular, have you guys seen the favorabilities of Pierre Poilievre? Because
way higher than Justin Trudeau. I never understand the shtick that this Creek Pete guy does. This little have you guys ever seen Pierre Poilievre's approval ratings? Yes, they're better than Trudeau's and Jagmeet's. They're far better. But this kind of stuttering, I got you right there kind of voice does not work at all. But I'll let him go.
They aren't good. Right? The party might be polling well, but Pierre isn't polling well. So, does the same question apply? I guess not. No, don't worry about it. Who cares?
He literally has a positive approval rating. Pierre Poilievre, when you actually look at his individual approval rating, is like +4, +5. It's not, crushing the world kind of numbers. Wow, he has 20% net approval rating. 3 or 4 is not bad as conservative leader, considering that all the media tends to report every little bad rumor about you. Yes, there is negative reporting about Justin Trudeau these days, but it's just because he's so unpopular. The legacy media couldn't survive without calling him out. But overall, Poilievre's pretty popular. Generally speaking, conservatives tend to poll much lower in terms of their personal approval ratings than their party does. It's kind of the reverse for Jagmeet Singh, where not a lot of people want him, don't prefer him as the prime minister, but he does pretty well in terms of the NDP's, or I guess it's in reverse, sorry, that's what I meant. Jagmeet Singh does better in his approval ratings overall in terms of how many people like him, more than the party actually does, because there's a lot of just generally fluffy, positive stuff said about people like Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh in the media. And that's actually a positive thing for Pierre Poilievre, that you don't have to like the leader to like what the party stands for. With Justin Trudeau, and I've said this many times, I haven't said it recently though, but Justin Trudeau's approval rating is almost exactly in line with the party because Justin Trudeau is the party. Pierre Poilievre is not the party. He is not the Conservative Party. So you can like Pierre Poilievre. I like Pierre Poilievre, and I also like the Conservative Party. You can even like Poilievre, but not like everything about the Conservative Party, but you can trust him to lead the country. And you can also not really like Pierre Poilievre, but you like the conservative ideals of the party. Those are all 3 options that you can have. Liking both, liking one or the other. With the Liberals, you can't like the Liberal Party, but not like Trudeau, because the party is completely subservient to him. They don't even have a mechanism to get rid of him as the leader. But you get all this kind of smarmy, snarky kind of liberal cooing about how Poilievre actually has technically a net negative approval rating in this poll by 1%. Is it going to actually make a difference, guys? You think you're actually winning here? I love following Creek Peep's timeline. I think I'm even following him on X specifically. Every single time a bad poll comes out for Justin Trudeau, it's a rigged poll. If a poll comes out that is a gain for the Liberals, technically, suddenly it is a good poll. So he liked the Angus Reid polls in BC that showed the BC NDP ahead, but he thinks that the Angus Reid is now biased towards Conservatives on the federal level. These people are just fundamentally irrational. And these aren't all people who vote Liberal or NDP, obviously. But the Liberal activists have so little to talk about these days, so little positive to glom onto. They've mostly just taken to attacking Conservatives for minor, like just nothingness. Just like, I didn't like this random post Polyev made on Twitter talking about this event. He should have used this word, not that word. Guys, you're losing. That's it. Justin Trudeau doesn't have a path to victory anymore. He lost the Maritimes. He lost most of Toronto, most of Ontario in general. He has nothing in BC these days. Even the EOS poll showed he's only at 13% in British Columbia. And I'd probably say he's probably a bit higher than that. That was probably underpolling the Liberals a bit. But other than Montreal, other than the island of Montreal, where is Justin Trudeau getting his support from anymore? It's just nowhere. I'm like wondering if Creek Pete is paid at this point. I'm not sure if he is. I wouldn't actually say that's like a solid thing I'd ever accuse him of. But there are some of these cheerleaders who are so blatant. Like it would be better for them to be paid. At least that explains something. At least it becomes less embarrassing that at least he was able to pay for a dinner this month because he made these videos. But like, really, I don't really get what people like this are doing this for anymore. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. That's enough polling for me. If you want to follow the show, obviously subscribe. And if you want any of my recommendations for upcoming leadership races or nominations, both federally and provincially, just sign up at my website, WyattClaypool.com. And you can also support the show by donating to my Give, Send, Go. Those are both in the description of this video below, as well as pinned at the top of the comments. And of course, leave a comment if you want to give any recommendations on things I can talk about in the future. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. Have a good